Welcome to a brand new episode of the Jampack Report today for April the 30th of 2020. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast meant to bring you the hottest gaming news you need to know from around the industry. Hosted on YouTube and podcast services around the world 5 days a week, it is your one-stop shop for all of the hottest gaming news that you need to know. And today we have plenty to dive into, including a tease of what is coming next week with some big Xbox Series X gameplay reveals. On top of that, we have news about Battlefield coming back for 2021, Nintendo's plans, or their lack thereof, for summer 2020, and more. But first and foremost, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because it is coming in holiday 2020, and the first trailer has been revealed. However, it is cinematic, but we'll talk about that more in a moment. Ubisoft is bringing the next game in the Assassin's Creed franchise, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, to Google Stadia, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X this holiday. The company revealed the first details on the game. It's set in the 9th century against England's Dark Ages, and released the debut trailer on Thursday. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will star Eivor, a Viking raider and clan leader. Players can choose to play as a female or male Eivor and will be able to use or customize her or him with a selection of hair, tattoos, clothing, war paint, and gear, Ubisoft says. Assassin's Creed's traditional open-world action-adventure gameplay will return, and Valhalla will build on that foundation with raids, settlement building and expansion, and political influence mechanics. Quote, political alliances, combat decisions, and dialogue choices can influence the world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so players must choose wisely to protect their own clan's home and future, Ubisoft said in a news release. Ubisoft Montreal, the studio behind Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Origins, is leading development on Valhalla. Here is Ubisoft's official story breakdown for the game. Driven from Norway by endless wars and dwindling resources in 9th century AD, players will lead Eivor's clan of Norsemen across the icy North Sea to the rich lands of England's broken kingdoms. Players must carve out a new future for their clan, reliving the ruthless fighting style of Viking warriors with a revamped combat system that includes the ability to dual-wield weapons against a greater variety of enemies than ever before. To secure resources, players can lead raids to select locations using their longship to earn much-needed riches and supplies. As the Vikings begin to settle in their new home, they encounter resistance from the Saxons, including King Alfred of Wessex, who denounces them as heathens and looks to be the sole ruler of a civilized England. Against all odds, Eivor must do what is necessary to keep Valhalla within reach. The Windows PC version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be available via the Epic Games Store and Ubisoft Store, and will be included as part of Ubisoft's Uplay Plus subscription service. And of course, you can check out some 4K resolution screenshots if you did want to see exactly what the game is going to be looking like. And of course, on top of that, you can check out the official trailer in and of itself, which was very impressive looking. It definitely is something that makes me very excited, because I'm a longtime Assassin's Creed fan. I've loved the world, I've loved the lore. It really is something that has always spoken to me, and I think that this one is going to be one that certainly is carrying that torch forward. Now, one thing I will say is that if you were hoping for some reason that Ubisoft would backtrack and go back to the classic action combat style Assassin's Creed that you got from Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Revelations, etc., that's not happening here. In fact, it seems they're doubling down on the RPG mechanics, and for a lot of people, that's not going to be a bad thing. Because if you look at starting with Assassin's Creed Origins and going into Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the amount of gameplay you can get from either of those games is incredible. I'm talking hundreds of hours of content there waiting for you. And on top of that, this is something that is largely undiscovered in terms of gaming. Of course, we have 2018's God of War, which did dive into Norse mythology, but you don't have anything with this open world, realistic kind of approach. Where God of War deals with gods and war, you have Assassin's Creed dealing with the historical nature of the world of the Vikings, and it's something I'm very excited to dive into. Now, of course, for those that might have missed it, it is going to be coming to the next-gen consoles as well as the current-gen consoles on top of Google Stadia and PC. So if you have a system, you can definitely play this one on it. But I cannot wait to dive in and see what the world of Assassin's Creed is going to bring us this time around. And I think that Ubisoft is finally beginning to regulate in terms of their development cycle for Assassin's Creed, because for a while it was becoming like a Call of Duty where there was just one after another. And it seems like this one is one that has had some time and effort put into it, and I also saw that 15 studios had been working on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, meaning a lot of people have put some time into this game to make it what it is meant to be. Hopefully it's a big kickoff for the next generation, and I cannot wait. On top of that, it is worth mentioning Assassin's Creed Valhalla supports Xbox Smart Delivery on the Xbox Series X. If you are picking up the new Assassin's Creed on Xbox, you only have to buy it once. Earlier this year, one of the features for Xbox Series X that Microsoft mentioned was Smart Delivery. This feature allows players to buy just one version of a game on Xbox One and automatically receive the Xbox Series X next generation upgrade for free. All Xbox Game Studios titles will support Smart Delivery, but third-party publishers can choose to opt in. While we already know that Cyberpunk 2077 would support Smart Delivery, we now know that Ubisoft is joining CD Projekt Red in supporting Smart Delivery. If you buy Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Xbox One, you will get the Xbox Series X upgrade for free. And this information was first spotted by Shinobi602 on Twitter. The product page on retailers like Best Buy states Assassin's Creed Valhalla leverages the Smart Delivery technology. Buy the game once and play it on either Xbox One or Xbox Series X when both the console and that version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla are available. So if you are an Xbox One owner, rest assured that when you buy an Xbox Series X, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will look and run even better at no cost to you. And of course, both the system and the game are scheduled to release sometime in holiday 2020. Now, you might have caught something there that I think a lot of people are overlooking, although it can kind of be assumed. When you look at this statement, Assassin's Creed Valhalla leverages the Smart Delivery technology. Buy the game once and play it on either Xbox One or Xbox Series X when both the console and that version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla are available. So, it seems to reason that Assassin's Creed Valhalla will come out before the Xbox Series X. So, I would pin this one for probably a late October release. I think that there's probably going to be about 2 weeks of a difference between the release of the Xbox One version and the next generation Xbox Series X version because that console won't be out yet. But early November is generally a pretty good time to release consoles. Of course, that's when we saw the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and it seems this generation has been pretty fair to both parties, especially since Xbox has begun to turn things around. But speaking of the next generation of consoles, a first look at Xbox Series X games is going to be shown on Inside Xbox on May the 7th, Assassin's Creed Valhalla included. You will get your first look at gameplay for Xbox Series X games, including Assassin's Creed Valhalla, during the next Inside Xbox episode. Microsoft announced today the next Inside Xbox episode will feature gameplay of Xbox Series X titles, and of course one of those is Valhalla. Spencer apparently was not kidding when he said a look at games for Xbox Series X would be coming soon. As you can see in a tweet from Microsoft, you can expect to see some gameplay from the company's global partners, and while it does not say much more than that, it's possible we could also get a look at what Microsoft Studios teams are up to. We will find out more on May the 7th when the next Inside Xbox episode airs at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. BST, and 5 p.m. CET. So, it looks like we are finally going to be getting a glimpse as to what Xbox is going to be bringing to the table. I do believe a lot of third parties are going to be included in this, but it would be nice to, number one, see the hardware showcased and to see what it's actually capable of, but number two, I would love to see what the Microsoft Studios teams are working on outside of that we've already seen. In a sense, Xbox is yet again beating Sony to the punch and showing off what we can expect for the next generation. I am ready to see this gameplay. I am ready to see 4K 60 and to see what it is actually going to be capable of. Although we've seen the hardware for the Xbox Series X and we've seen the specs, I want to see that in action. I want to see the speedy updates. I want to see the speedy resumes. I want to see everything your console has to offer before I dive in and put my pre-order in. And so if you want to see the first look at the next generation of what you could be experiencing from gameplay, by all means, May the 7th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, you can tune in, of course, to see what exactly is going down. I would assume it's going to be on Mixer, and it's probably going to be uploaded on YouTube as well, but you can find all of that information via the official Xbox outlets. However, it's been a hot minute since we saw a Battlefield title, and it looks like the franchise is returning in 2021 for PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. The next Battlefield game is coming in 2021, developer DICE has confirmed. In a statement to IGN, the Swedish studio said that with support for Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Battlefield 5 winding down, it's focused on the future of Battlefield for a new game set for release in 2021. This new Battlefield game was announced in October 2019, at which time publisher Electronic Arts said the game would launch in the company's fiscal year 2022, which runs from April 2021 to March 2022. Now we know a more specific launch time sometime in 2021. EA has not shared any concrete details about the new Battlefield game, but it did tease that the title will be, quote, targeting new innovation that will be enabled by next-gen platforms. By the time that this new Battlefield game releases in 2021, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X will be on the market, so you can probably expect it to launch on those consoles as well as PC. EA said it is releasing this new Battlefield game in 2021 instead of 2020, when the new consoles release to take advantage of their larger install base. Bringing out Battlefield in 2020, where the new console base is fairly small, does not really give justice to the potential of the title, and so that is part of our driver in moving the title into fiscal 22, EA management said. DICE has studios in Stockholm, Sweden, and in Los Angeles, California. The DICE LA studio is now being run by Respawn co-founder Vince Zampella as part of the expanded responsibilities of his recent promotion. 2018's Battlefield 5 took place in World War II, while 2016's Battlefield 1 was set during World War I. The series has not seen a modern-day release since 2015's Battlefield Hardline, which was more of a cops and robbers situation more than a modern combat simulator. But I digress. I know that we talked about this earlier on a previous episode of the show, but this 2021 time frame and the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X statement is something that I think should be mentioned, because not that it's going to be coming to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. That's not significant. The fact of the matter is, it seems they are not going to be releasing any more current generation titles, and that's something that's a bit shocking to me. Because if you look back, Battlefield 4 was still largely beloved by the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 generation, even though it is primarily considered to be a modern game for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And so if you see this kind of move, it seems that the next Battlefield game is going to be very ambitious if they are going straight for the jugular with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X release. It seems this is going to be a very powerful game if it, number one, isn't being marketed to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. That means it probably doesn't run that well on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. But I'm excited nonetheless because I do love a good Battlefield game. It is one of my favorite shooters of all time. But it looks like we might have to wait for even more news coming from another entity, Nintendo, because no Nintendo Direct is planned for June due to work-from-home hurdles. Nintendo is telling partner developers it is not going to hold one of its Nintendo Direct video events in June. The publisher has had a June Direct to correspond with E3 every year since 2013, and before that it held annual stage presentations. But complications brought about from Japan's work-from-home order as part of its attempts to mitigate COVID-19 are forcing Nintendo to push back its schedule. Nintendo was putting together a June event, the company was lining up partners, and was planning to unveil its first-party schedule for the rest of 2020. That included highlighting the Mario franchise's 35th anniversary, which it is going to celebrate with the release of some classic 3D Mario games on Switch, according to various reports. But now the company is far less certain. If it holds another Direct, it may not come until the very end of summer. The author has reached out to Nintendo, but the company did not respond for comment. The company's statement from the start of March 26th Nintendo Direct Mini is as good as a comment as any. Due to COVID-19, release dates and other information are subject to change. The June Nintendo Direct may be a victim of Japan's cultural clash with work from home. Nintendo is not unique in its struggles to adapt to a work from home model. That's especially true in Japan, where a number My cat's clawing on my futon. Where a number of companies were not prepared for this kind of shift, and even weeks after Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe enacted a state of emergency, corporations in the country are still trying to catch up, and it turns out you can't remold Japanese business culture in a handful of weeks. And so that's where we'll end. Of course, you can read more at Adventure Beat. But this is something that is a bit unprecedented, in my opinion, and I think that would be something that isn't an understatement for the rest of the industry. Nintendo It's always been in June. That's what they do. They showcase what they are going to be doing for the rest of the year. It's something that people look forward to ravenously, and to see that it's not happening this year is somewhat of a shocker if this is to be believed. Now, again, something could come about, but especially considering the giant anniversary, considering the leaks and the rumors that we saw circulate last week, where you did have these giant celebrations where they are re-releases of phenomenal Mario titles coming out throughout 2020 and beyond. That's something that needs to have its own event, regardless of when it happens. So whether it be June or August, I would say you are going to be seeing some kind of Nintendo Direct, but hopefully sooner rather than later. Because again, if you put out a Nintendo Direct at the end of, let's say, the end of August, you're getting very close to the release dates of some of those games, which could necessarily be a pretty good move in terms of marketing in and of itself. But I digress. It looks like June is not going to be the month for Nintendo. However, GDC is going fully digital this summer. We have been continuously reviewing the best ways to serve the game development community over the past few months as the world has continued to adapt to developments. While we very much look forward to meeting again in person as soon as possible, we are moving forward with a plan to transform GDC Summer into an all-digital event in order to best serve our community. As so many game developers embrace remote working arrangements and online collaboration, we are inspired to adapt and deliver GDC in a digital format that will be available to everyone with an internet connection and will work hard to deliver the high-quality content and networking opportunities GDC attendees have come to expect. We believe in the power of gathering our community to share, inspire, and strengthen our industry, and are committed to providing that opportunity in August. We look forward to sharing more information about GDC Summer soon. So, of course, GDC is massive because it is the Game Developers Conference. It's where these giant games that you see, these even small indies, these collaborations, these partnerships, this is where they come into fruition. This is part of the business of gaming, and on top of that, it's a nice little window, an opportunity for these publishers and developers to showcase what they have been working on or what projects they are going to begin. And for it not to happen at all was something that was going to be very disappointing, but it seems that a fully digital event is certainly going to fill the void, at least in some kind of way, shape, or form. Of course, as somebody on Twitter said a couple of months back when we were talking about E3's cancellation, every event has been a digital event for me, and it's been pretty good so far. So between IGN and GameSpot coverage and official Twitch coverage and whatever GDC puts on itself, I guarantee we are going to have a pretty good show on our hands. And at least it's going to be an interesting move to see how things work out this summer. So again, if you do want to tune in, again, we will be covering it here on my channel on August 4th through the 6th, 2020, or you can tune into your favorite news industry outlet and get the full rundown. But that rounds out this week's episode of the Jampack Report. If you enjoyed today's show, drop me a like down below and let me know what stories caught your eye. Do you love Assassin's Creed Valhalla? How do you feel about the game? How do you feel about it coming to Xbox Series X with that cross support, that smart delivery? I would love to see your thoughts. Or are you just looking forward to the next Battlefield? I would love to see you in the comment section down below. But until next time, you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.